Hello guys and welcome back to Journey into Pandora episode 9 part 2. We had a fantastic start in part 1, taking a 4-0 lead in this run, and now we're going to continue our journey and try and aim for that 9 wins before I close out Journey into Pandora for a little while, exploring the upcoming balance patch and how it's going to shape our constructed metagame. So let's get into the matches and see how we do. Alright, first game of this Pandora run. Things are looking pretty nice in this hand, but a little expensive. Now, I want the Ancient Beastmaster to get this down early, so maybe I go for that. Maybe I decide to keep this hand. Could throw away the Flame Burst, I guess. The Flame Burst is actually really helpful because it can help my creatures trade up, or even just trade with alongside the Flame Burst. But I am going to prioritize the Ancient Beastmaster in the early game, just so we can get some value going as soon as possible. One Beast, that's not a bad pickup either for a little bit later. Go for the mountain, play the Brute, and hopefully this will live long enough to get that power up. We don't see a Choking Sands come down, or maybe something like a double Soul Drain. That could be a problem as well. So going for the old Fanatic, double Flame Burst in hand. And we're going to pass. Now we could double neutral into mountain, but because we have the Crackthorn Beast, I am going to prioritize just taking special lands. Now this guy's getting up close and personal very quickly. Not sure I like it. So it might be time to play a defender. Yeah, we're going to go for a more defensive option here. Solid 4-7 there. We're going to Flame Burst this guy, so it doesn't double collect on the follow-up. So my opponent will sit on 13 Faeria, which is a lot, but we have two pretty powerful creatures on board, which our opponent has to respect, or at least answer. Go for the Wood Elemental. Alright. Now we can move up. Take this, and we'll pass. So we have Crackthorn Beast next turn. We'll see what happens with that. Going for the last Nightmare. Oh, another Brood. That's really good. We'll take our last mountain and then we'll go for the Brute. Getting that power up, but we'll just pass there. I don't feel like we need to overextend here. I mean, Doomsday is a thing. I don't think it'd be played in this situation, but we're doing okay. We have two creatures. They're more powerful than our opponents. We're a bit behind on Faeria. We're one card behind on hand advantage, but you know, we're getting some value out of this Beastmaster. It's already paid for itself in Faeria collecting, and it's already powered up two creatures, so I feel like this Beastmaster has really paid off so far. Going for a Swordfish. Oh, interesting position on the Swordfish here, making sure it's out of reach of this Brute, but can still take care of the Beastmaster on the follow-up. I like it. Very strong line there. So I think it's time to go for the Crackthorn Beast. And a Flame Burst this, actually. Stops a double collection. My opponent doesn't collect any Faeria this turn unless this gets removed. We've seen a Last Nightmare as well, so I'm pretty confident that my Beastmaster is going to stick around. Unless more power-ups get dropped on this, it's going to be a Last Nightmare. Another last... Wait, what? Oops. That was a little bit of a misclick there from my opponent. A little unfortunate there. I'm a bit sad that happened. I wish we could have played that game out. But it does happen. Sometimes you just click a little too fast, and all of a sudden your last nightmare, your own guy. But yeah, I think that could have been a very solid game, so a little unfortunate there. But 5-0 so far, very quick game to kick things off. Let's get into our next one. Alright guys, another game. Looking pretty good with this hand. We got the Bone Collector for turn 1. We can go into the Wood Elemental for a bit of land ramp, which I don't really mind. I think that's reasonable. But if we're going to go for turn 1 Bone Collector, do we really want to play this on the follow-up? Probably not. I think the Grizzly's okay, but yeah, we're just going to throw the Wood Elemental. I don't feel like we need it. We're doing this, and then I would have to go like Mountain, move, Wood Elemental, Forest, and then my Wood Elemental's behind my Bone Collector, which I'm never a fan of, really. You always want creatures in front of your Bone Collectors, so that's the reason why I threw it away. Shamanic Dance on Bone Collector could be very strong if this starts getting powered up. Oh, I tell you what I forgot to do. I forgot to change my orb. I now have the full Magda set. I finished it off with my last Mythic chest from the end of the season. I've been using the Dragon Orb instead. So yeah, I can actually finish this off, which is pretty cool. So I'll be sure to do that on the next game. Get my nice new orb and get my full Magda set. Now I have Flame Burst as an option to kill the Water Elemental. I also have Forest as an option into Deepwood Grizzly. Now my opponent could double neutral here and really apply a lot of pressure with that Explore into the lake. But we'll see what happens. Because if no double neutral comes down, I quite like going into the Forest into the Grizzly in front of the Bone Collector, because the Grizzly can challenge the Water Elemental pretty easily. But it very much depends if double neutral comes down. If double neutral does come down, I'm probably going to opt for a Flame Burst instead. But also it could depend on what creature my opponent decides to follow up with if they do go for the double neutral. Goes through a Forest into a Hermit. Okay. So I can't really stop double collection anyway. So yeah, let's go for the Grizzly. So my opponent runs the Hermit into the Grizzly, putting him down to 7. Gets a +2 power up here, with basically an Elderwood Embrace put into a creature. This becomes Elderwooded, which goes up to a 5/7, which is not enough to finish off the Deepwood Grizzly. Now, if I'd played the Brute instead, my opponent would have been able to clear both with the Water Elemental Living. I could have followed up with the Flame Burst if I didn't have the Grizzly, but the Grizzly's just a little better here because it doesn't die immediately. My opponent does need an extra answer in order to take care of it. Curious to see what the follow-up is here. I don't know, maybe just taking the power up on the Water Elemental with the Hermit. Taking the double collection, getting that land down, hitting in, powering up the Water Elemental, then jumping it back. That could be an option. Into the Willow. Okay. So we'll go for the Mountain. Move this across. Move this up. I think I'm going to give this Shamanic Dance now. Just in case there's any funny stuff coming from my opponent. But I wouldn't mind this staying alive because The more creatures that die around it, the more powerful it's going to become. Now, I could have given Shamanic Dance to the Deepwood Grizzly, but I'm kind of spreading my power across the board here instead. And this doesn't get any better unless I invest more into it. Whereas the Bone Collector can improve its power level exceptionally depending on how many creatures die around it, so this could scale really heavily into the mid-late game if it's not answered. It's just a really annoying threat that needs to be respected, and I think the Shamanic Dance on it there is quite solid. So this would become quite bulky, actually. This would become a 3/11 if the Hermit does proc on this. If it goes here, this could become a 5/7. I think I prefer it on this, to be honest. It's a little bit more manageable than 11 life. And I can actually abuse the Willow. I know that sounds a bit strange, but I could abuse the Willow's low attack and high life with these combat creatures. It's going to be a Tyrant Axe in this position. As you can see, my opponent's playing very cautiously. I think I Flame Burst this now because I don't want it to double collect on this side. I'm going to double neutral across. I'm going to move these two up. Yeah, we'll drop the Flame Burst here. I think we just pass on that. So the reason I've moved this up is because if the Hermit wants to hit into anything, it has to hit into the Bone Collector, which will power it up. So I'll push it up to a 2/7. And then if this was to go up to a 3/11, still has to go into the Bone Collector, which could be a problem for them. Just going to diamond off here, make sure I can't get aggressive lands. If this land wasn't taken, definitely consider this for a mountain or a forest, because I have Verdant Force and other powerful creatures in hand. So Hermit is going to move down. Everyone shimmying across. Enchantress here. Oh, very nice. That worked out exceptionally well for my opponent, getting that Enchantress off. Good positioning as well. Locking me in on this spot. So I think I have to do this. I'll get a Grimguard here to make sure I can collect. So this is just a block the 1/1 going into my Deepwood Grizzly. That's what I'm trying to avoid here, because I don't want the 1/1 to move, hit my Grizzly, the Willow finish it off, the Willow lives, and then a power-up gets distributed somewhere. So I'm hoping that power-up is going to go onto this Enchantress, probably, because it's not really involved in this conflict on the left-hand side. Curious to see what the follow-up is for my opponent here. Gonna navigate around this board. This is where the Shamanic Dance would have been very, very good. Just dropping it on the Verdant Force, making sure that Willow has to go into it. I have Crackthorn Beast next turn, so I'm hoping Crackthorn Beast can give me that little bit of an edge I need to win board on the left-hand side. And then I can start applying some real pressure. It's going to trade off there, so I think I'm okay with that. Going for an Octopus. It's a 3/7. So still very cautious play from my opponent. Let's see where old Crackles takes us. So where do I want to dash this? Maybe over here. Let's stick it here for now. That's not very good. Okay, let's see where this resolves. It resolves on this spot. Which is also not very good. Yeah, I think we're just going to chill here. Unfortunately, we didn't have a very good Crackthorn Beast. I was hoping the Grizzly would get some power-ups. Pandora's soon to open, so that's definitely going to shake things up a little bit. Another enchant would be very, very, very bad. Enchant would not only kill my Grizzly, but force me to use even more resources to finish off this Tyrannax, which I don't really want to do. Dealing with a 10-10 could be very problematic. I was hoping that Hermit proc would go over to the 2-4 on the right-hand side, but unfortunately it did hit probably the best target in the Tyrannax there. Feed the forest on the 3-7, goes for the draw, doesn't open Pandora, gets a Primeval Colossus. This is going to be interesting to answer. A very big threat there. I'm hoping my first treasure isn't Iona's Mirror at this point. I need something a bit more active. What do I have? Chalice from the Palace. I have the Mirror as well. Gift of Steel picked up. Oh man, I was hoping Pandora would open. Alright, let's block my opponent with the Brute. Let's move everything down. Going into defensive mode now. That little seedling might grow up to be a big seedling. I don't find the removal. Curious to see what happens. I mean, a draw is pretty strong here for my opponent because Pandora gets opened. You can collect off the left-hand well, go up to 8. Draw for Pandora. Oh. Yeah. That's not good. That's not good at all. Definitely don't want to see that card come down. Okay, so in a pretty bad position going forward. I need to build land, which is something I don't want to do. I have to build land. I don't want to build land there, if I'm honest. It's just gonna block my orb. Yeah, this isn't looking good. See what my opponent does on the follow-up. Now, it can clear my Grimguard with the 6/6, which will release my Brute. And then if my opponent did decide to take orb damage there, I could use the Overgrown Tower. I'm just going to trade off, okay. Maybe take care of my my Crackthorn. I'd definitely consider it. Just clearing the Crackthorn, hoping I don't have any damage, and making sure that maybe the Grizzly wants to go into it. Something like Elderwood Embrace would be a big problem for me right now. Because I need to find 1 damage. Flower Silk Fairy Okay. Gonna clear the tower. I respect that. Alright, Pandora. Not here. Let's take a draw. Still not here. Feels bad. Oh, and there it is. Might proc the Flower Silk. Nope, so it's not an event. I know that much. That's going to be a creature. So maybe the Clockwork Yak, maybe Equinox. Equinox would be terrifying. Sagami Warrior. Land Equinox? Another Primeval Colossus. Oh my goodness. This is pretty sad. Okay, it's going to be Chalice time. I will take a draw just in case I find another treasure. Alright, I have enough power-ups at least. So the Crackthorn Beast is now out of reach of both the Flower Silk and the Primeval Colossus, depending on if an event is drawn. If an event is drawn, then that might not matter. Actually, I'm thinking maybe Earthfire Shaker is the creature that was picked up. Oh, good teleport there. Gonna find lethal. Take care of my guy, and then finish me off with that 7 damage. Oh, just gonna... Yeah, okay. Right. Yeah, I understand. So there we have it, our first loss in our journey into Pandora. Not bad though, we're already 5 wins up, so we're only 4 wins away from taking that 9. Let's get into our next game, and hopefully things will go a little bit better. And if we do face our same opponent again, at least we have a good idea of what type of power level that deck is at and what to expect, which could help us in a run back. So let's get into our next match. Into our next match. Hope things go well this time. I'm going to throw all of this. We have enough turn 1 collectors in our deck to justify throwing a full hand like that. And we did actually find one in the end. Also have the Explore, so I can go to Fire Elemental instead if I like. But like I said, I like to have my Bone Collectors behind the creatures like Fire Elemental. So we are going to start off with the Bone Collector. I think we can even explore Bone Collector here. And then we can go Mountain into Fire Elemental. And then that Fire Elemental is in front of the Bone Collector, and that will allow it to power up the Bone Collector if it was to die. Now, Bone Collector didn't actually work out that well for me last game. But 2 Primeval Colossus and an Azura Skywhale, very difficult to deal with. That's an excellent pickup as well. But we are going to go into the Fire Elemental and take control of the well spots. My opponent did invest in double neutral here, so probably going to go for a special land in this region. And now I have 5 damage plus 3 from hand to challenge anything that comes down. And I'm actually going to be able to kill this. This is fantastic for me. I'm already going to be able to answer a very large threat in the form of this Oak Father. So, yeah. Let's get this out of the way. Take Flame Burst. Drop the Ancient Beastmaster. And hopefully we can start getting value from this as soon as possible. As long as I get some good draws, we're going to be in a pretty good position. A big Faeria investment there from our opponent. We're going to go for a Grove Guardian. Not something I can manage just yet. Derelict Tower. It's not going to help. Well, it could help actually. I could shimmy down and Derelict Tower this. Derelict Tower again into the clear with the Bone Collector. So let's do that. Let's play to what we have in hand at least. I need to put this somewhere, so I'm going to stick it here. We'll go for the ping. Our opponent double collects, we ping it again, move the Bone Collector up and take the Cypher's Wrath. Oh, there might be some removal here. No, we're gonna go for the power-up, so playing around any potential removal that I find. Oh, Gift of Steel plus Cypher's Wrath will be enough to finish this off. Just wondering, do I take a draw? I think I do, because I need to find something to get powered up off the Ancient Beastmaster. Like a Grimguard, for example. So yeah, let's push this up. Clear. So we've taken control of the left-hand side again, but my opponent could drop something quite menacing. Especially if land gets developed below the mountain in the center. I do have the Derelict Tower there to help, so maybe that'll be okay. I'm gonna go for a Brute. That's fine, I might actually just taunt this up. Because as it stands, the Grimguard probably isn't going to be enough. But I do have the Flame Spitter in hand, so I do have enough damage to finish it off. Unless the Gift of Steel comes down, which would be a big problem. But I'm forcing my opponent to have it, at least. Voice of Truth to reset the health. I like it, pretty cool. But I think we'll leave this taunted now. Actually, let's do this. Off. Ping this. Into the Flame Spitter. And we'll leave this taunted up so my opponent can't collect, just sitting on that free Faeria. We get to double collect on the follow-up, and then I can play the Brute on this side to challenge it. +1. +1 pass. Even better, I now have a Firebomb to take care of this. Which means I don't need to double neutral. Actually just maybe even +1 and pass. And then move here, take an aggressive forest or mountain. Oh, Crackthorn Beast, that's pretty grim. Doesn't kill anything though. Guess that's fine. Pandora awakens. I won't be able to finish this off. I can play a blocker at least. I can just sit on this forest with the Ancient Beastmaster and hopefully get more value out of it. Blood Singer. Thinking about taking out my... That's quite interesting. I'm curious to see what happens to this. It's going to get Doom Scythed. Yeah, I figured there was hard removal for this card if my opponent has the luxury of killing a 2-1. Very unfortunate. You're a little late, my friend. Yeah, this is not stuff to beat a Crackthorn Beast or a 6-1, unfortunately. I mean, I can heal a 7 life. Play a Version Force here. But I probably just die anyway. So yeah, we'll call a surrender on that one. And 2 losses in a row, guys. Feels bad. What is happening? We were doing so well to start off with in the first part, but now already on thin ice once again. I've been in this position way too many times in the last few episodes. Let's fight on, and let's hopefully try and finish this run. Alright guys, this could be potentially the final game, depending on how things go. You know what, I'm gonna keep this. I quite like this hand. Go double mountain into Brute, then I have the big Cobbled Warlord the follow-up with, or Firebomb if I need to take care of any problems. So start off with the mountain. Always forests. Lots of forests in Pandora these days. It's very rare you don't see green being splashed with a colour. It's just because of how strong it is. The Elder would embrace the power-ups and the big creatures like Oakfather. Goes for a lake here. Interesting. So green, blue, very common combination of colours in Pandora. Just going to move up slowly, collect some Faeria. We have a lot of removal in hand, should really help us when trying to fight whatever threat comes down. And a land placement here might look a little bit odd, but this is an old trick that was used to play around Horsemaster. My opponent all of a sudden decides to go aggro with a Tephra. That's not totally unreasonable against red-green. 4, 5, 6. Oh, wait. Oh, hang on. We might just have enough. 6, 10. So I have 10 damage here with the Cypher's Wrath. That will be enough. It's going to cost me my hand. If I hit into it, 8, 3, 3, 2. Yeah, I guess that's what's going to happen. It's a little unfortunate, but can't really leave this up. This is a very strange way to kick off the game. Big Tephra, played aggressively. I'm curious to see if my opponent continues to play aggro now that Tephra's been killed. And it looks like the answer to that question is going to be yes. Huh. Well, I'm just going to push up here and pass. I'm going to go for the Cobbled Warlord next turn. Maybe aggressive, maybe defensive, we'll see. Okay. I'm not really sure what I want to do here. My opponent can push damage next turn. I think I'm just going to play the Warlord, if I'm honest. And just maybe +1 and pass. And go from there. Because 10 Faeria is a little menacing. Especially with green in the picture. Like Oakfather, Verdran Force, another Tephra. Anything could come down, really. So I do need to be careful. I played it here instead of on the wells, just in case a creature come down here. Okay. Tiki Caretaker just showing up for a moment. Oh, I am going to play defensively going forward. Let's get a Deepwood Grizzly down on this side. So we've got this side covered. Take our last mountain here so we can just start collecting off our wells until Pandora opens, and we can defend if we need to. And then we can play more aggressively up this way. I think my opponent's changed his mind. He's just like, actually, I don't think I'll go aggro anymore. I'll try and collect some Faeria. Frogify. Frog Tosser? Horsemaster. Cheeky. Alright. Oh, Ancient Boar. Very nice pickup there. can dash straight here. Now I need to decide. I think I'm just going to take this and I'm going to move over to defend because I'm expecting Pandora to open. And so the Pandora opens. I'm not going to collect. I miss out on a Faeria, but I get in a better defensive position. And now I have a board that can start applying pressure with an aggressive land as well. So that was the plan. I'm hoping my opponent has an amazing treasure here, like Hammer of Wrath or something. I can just take 2 of them. Because like you could make land here, hit Hammer of Wrath this. You clear the board, very nice. We'll see what my opponent has. Triton's Banquet, Elderwood Embrace. That's a pretty good answer. Ancient Boar. Take care of that problem. And just move away. Okay. Just gonna pass here. I don't really want to do anything. Nothing is really that threatening at the moment. The boar can't clear my grizzly on its own. I don't necessarily need to flame burst this 6/3 just yet. If it moves off the land, it's even better for me actually, because then I can flame burst it, build a special land, maybe build something there like a Deepwood Grizzly. Just curious to see what my opponent does next. Might be a Gabrian Warden? No, it's going to be a pass. Okay. I'm going to take a draw. Flame Spear. That's a pretty good pickup. Let's take care of that. Now we'll pass. So we're playing a bit into Bottled Lightning here. Won't kill the Bone Collector at least, but Bottled Lightning is an option. Frog Tosser? Maybe a Sky Whale? This could be a Grove Guardian. Into an Oak Father. Pretty big one at that. Okay. Let's take a draw. Derelict Tower. It's pretty good actually. So now we can start getting power-ups on our creatures, like the Brute and a Deepwood Grizzly. Derelict Tower's in a pretty safe spot. Voice of Truth. Oh, that sucks. Just completely nullifying all those power-ups and making it very difficult now to clear this out. Oh, what's it going to be? Don't have like a Secret of Strength or something. Now I'm going to go for the clear on the Bone Collector. Okay, still respecting its ability to power up my creatures. Go to Jin's Lamp. Do I want to copy Jin's Lamp? Probably not. Ooh, Crackphone Beast. This could be very helpful. Could be very helpful. Wasn't. Another treasure found, chalice from the palace. Another treasure found, wheel of chaos. So I have a bit of healing. I also have a bit of burst damage, but I can also copy one of these treasures if need be. If this is a doom scythe, I'm going to be in a good position because I'm going to be able to doom scythe. Oh, it's a hammer. Ooh, I'll take a hammer. Now I'm hoping the Oak Father decides to go for my orb, because then I can chalice the Beastmaster. Chalice the Beastmaster and clear the Oak Father. Yeah, just go for my orb. That's pretty good. It's a shame that Tiki Totem is actually really relevant because it pushes me out of reach of Wheel of Chaos on this. Let's chalice. It's going to allow me to clear this out. Ping this in advance. I'll pass. So I have 10 damage in hand. I could have pinged face using... Oh no. Oh no. That's not what I wanted to see. Freaking Equinox, man. Okay. That's fine. I can clear this. And I could play a Brute. And then I could just Shamanic Dance it. Let's just do that. There's a hammer in his deck. I went up with 20 as well. Feels bad, guys, honestly. I feel like we're having much luck here. Just rips hammer off the top. Nope, gonna pick up Sagami Grove Call. And that is gonna conclude this run, so once again. I don't know, maybe I'm getting outdrafted, maybe I'm getting outplayed. I can't really say for sure, it's very hard for me to tell. There we have it, it's going to be just 5-3, such a strong start as well. Picked up some prizes. And yeah, that is going to conclude Journey into Pandora. We're going to be taking a look into Constructed next week, so be sure to keep an eye out for videos about the upcoming balance patch, but also potential decks that get improved from those changes. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up if you haven't already. Drop a subscribe to keep up to date of when our content goes live. Be sure to check out earlier Journeys into Pandora. There's also a few Oversky deck spotlights highlighting decks that performed in the Aurora Open. So until next time, guys, take care and enjoy Pandora.